And then we'll kneel down because the footlights will be out of shot. Oh. There we go. At least you got your tin anyway. At least you got your tin. Right, here we are. Back in Les's cold half of his garage.
Yeah.
Here's the box just arrived from D&K.
Okay.
In here is hopefully a very good, very nice Z1000 Mk2 gearbox.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Because we did say the other week that we need a gearbox for the 1400. You've got one that came out of your old bike.
Yes.
So about 40,000 miles?
About 44,000 it's done.
And it's got a couple of wear parts on it. Some parts.
Well, I don't know, it seemed mint when I took it out.
Okay, but so I saw this, I thought, yeah, I'll have that. Not necessarily for the 1400, but for the other Mark II engine that I've got, which is going to become a project sometime in a year or two, who knows. But as it turns out, if this is a better gearbox than the one we've already got,
use the best of the two in the 1400.
So you've not seen it yet, so it's actually very well packed. I've unpacked it once. But, yeah, they did a good job to unpack it all. Hopefully it's not got that stupid paper, it's just these things.
Yeah.
Transmission. That bit of surface rust on that one.
Yeah, you've got a bit of surface rust there.
Nothing to...
a little bit. No, it's smoke.
Yeah, smoke.
No, that looks...
okay.
It's the engagement dogs I need to look at.
Yeah.
And...
no chips, hopefully.
You need to look at the corners to make sure they're not worn.
Yeah, okay, look quite...
that's
I'm not
just
good looking at myself.
They've just come off the bushings.
Yeah.
But, it all looks okay in here where the engagement slots are.
Good, and then this is the second. Again, a little bit of rust there, but it's been sat somewhere. But that side's fine, and that side's got a bit of rust in it. But only surface rust, it's not a big deal.
I can't see the engagement dogs on this without stripping that bearing off, but everything else looks okay so far.
So far, so good. Next part.
Input shaft.
Yeah.
Okay. First gear, surface rust.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check the
take them all apart.
Check them all apart. On the surface, all the engagement dogs look fine.
Yeah.
That's well runnable.
Good. And then next big part here.
Kickstart shaft. You won't need a kickstart shaft.
Probably not. No.
I've got several kickstart shafts.
Okay. This is the.
That's the drum.
Drum. Hopefully it's got no.
Well, you're looking at the corners.
Yeah, you said to me the corners of where.
Is where the wear occurs.
Yeah, it looks okay to me.
So I get a brand new pen and I see if there's any flow.
Yeah.
And check that there's not excessive side to side movement.
Yeah.
Where the points are.
Yeah.
On the surface of it, that looks okay. Have you got the pins and the selector at the end of that? No. No, they're the end caps for the needles.
I've also got a ball bearing from somewhere.
Yeah, that'll be clutch push rod. Yeah, clutch push rod.
Whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, that goes underneath that. That's the D10. Yeah.
Okay. Ball bearing.
Yeah, clutch push rod.
Yeah. And then these three
selector forks. Right,
ones. Three.
Now the ones in there, which I said were okay, they're like new.
Yeah. I thought they were
absolutely. You can see. Oh, there's a little bit of wear on. Hang on. Is it muck? Yeah, that's mint.
Yeah, it's mint.
That's mint.
I think this came out quite a little on your bike. I think.
That's mint. It's this one that wears. This is the one that wears.
Yeah.
The faces there are mint.
Yeah.
There's no gouging. It's nothing wobbling. It's just a little bit of wear on that edge.
Yeah, just the tip.
Just
on the edge, but
apart from that, that's runnable.
That's usable, yeah. Because this is the part that was worn on the other gearbox.
Yeah. There's a gouge here where the gear's been wobbling.
Yes.
And it's dug in.
Yeah.
So that one next door is.
You were going to buy a new one for that, all the gearbox.
I was.
But we'll use this one now. But in the future, for the second Mark II engine, we'll get one anyway because that's for that.
I might have another in a box somewhere. I've got that much stuff. I don't know what I've got.
I might because I think these things are quite expensive from Mr. Kawasaki. They're not cheap, are they? So
no. Well, I've not priced one yet. But APE do a billet one, but they're $175 or something, and then you've got shipping and import duty.
£200,
for at the very least.
Yeah. So I think what D&K do is obviously they bring in a lot of parts, a lot of engines, a lot of complete bikes that they sell. If they get a good engine, they won't just sell a complete engine for about £1,000. Oh no! They'll take it all apart and sell each part individually.
Well, that's how you make money.
And no doubt they'll make a lot more money. So I think they've had a good engine that they've now taken apart, because they've also got a clutch
Yes.
for sale at the moment, which I was, shall I buy that? And it looks absolutely mint.
I've got several clutches,
Yeah.
and I think the original one out of the 1400's been reinforced with the cush drive springs have all been done, and it's all been welded back up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that can go. That can probably go straight back in.
But again, I was thinking, well, it's there, so I may as well buy it and keep it on a shelf for a year before we do the second Mark II engine.
There's a little bit of, that's the pin that runs in the grooves in the drum here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a big one?
And you, when, depending on where it tightens up, you end up with two flats. So if you look at the surface here,
I mean, you can't see it from the.
You can't see it on camera, but if you actually spin it round and wipe it, you'll see a little flat.
Oh, it's very slight. Yeah.
Very slight there. See it?
That's the kind of thing you can replace it.
That's what's been rubbing on the points of the drum.
Yes.
In that
well, that's
slot.
something you can replace, isn't it? That can't.
Yeah, I mean,
you
can pack it so it tightens up in a different place, and that's ideal.
Okay.
But all the washers that hold up, the tab washers, are the same thickness.
Yeah.
So it'll tighten up in the same place every time.
So just get new one. It's not.
Yeah. So
small parts aren't too bad. So overall, then it's a good buy. Now this was about 50% more expensive than the other ones I've seen from a similar age bike.
Right.
If you want to buy something from an early Z1, it costs an absolute fortune. It's about 300 or 400 quid. But the more modern one you go, like a J, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And this is somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So they tend to be about 100 quid, right, or thereabouts.
Yeah.
From D&K.
There's different gear ratios as well. All the early Z9 and Z1000 have a 12 tooth front first gear on. That's part of the shaft.
Yeah.
I think the J's went to a 14 tooth. And then on my close ratio gearbox, which is in my bike, it's a 16 tooth, that gear.
High gear, yeah.
So that's part.
Yeah, so all this with delivery, which fair enough, and it was quite well packed, was 151 quid. Which, when you think how much you might have to pay for a new one of them, is not bad. You know,
no.
It did look in the photographs. It did look in quite good nick. So I took a risk, and hopefully it's going to be okay.
Well, whatever we don't use, like I say, in this engine, we can use in the other.
Precisely. So I'm always looking for things, but. That's good news then. Well, I think you've done a little bit more work on the engine cases since I was last here. Have you?
I've done a bit more prep work on the bottom crankcase. There's a tiny bit more cleaning to do. But I fitted the heavy duty crankcase studs.
Good.
The next job is to get Jeff to machine the bearing cap.
Oh yes, flatten it down.
And then
has he got that now, or is he?
No, I'm going to drop that off tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us what to do. And it's getting there. Right, so here we are, back in your warm side of your garage, and I see my crankcase halves now have the crankshaft...
heavy duty cylinder crankcase studs.
Yes,
sorry, not cylinder studs. Crankcase studs.
Yeah, they're all in now.
They're all in.
Did it go in alright? No great problems?
Straightforward.
Yeah, good.
All Loctited in and torqued up.
Excellent.
Next job now is the crank's ready to go in. Just need to supply a cam chain.
Yes, that's going to be ordered soon, isn't it?
The crank cap has got to go to Jeff's for machining.
That's right, and strengthening.
And then we can put the strengthening plate on,
yes.
reinforcing plate.
Yeah.
Either make one or buy one through APE.
Whatever's quickest, whatever's easiest.
So that's next.
Yeah.
You've just supplied a gearbox, which I need to look at.
Go through it and clean it up.
And then fit.
Yeah. And then the two crankcase are screwed together.
Are you putting a kickstart on these engines?
No.
Right. So we can leave that out. That was one of the questions.
I think my old knees won't take it. Plus, if it's 700, it's what 1400cc. I'm not going to be kickstarting it very easily.
Well,
if it starts on electric start, I'm happy to go with it.
Yeah, that's it. And it's taking weight out of the bike as
and complexity as well. You don't need the hassle of it.
You don't need all that.
No. That's a big no for me.
And you can get a blanking plate for here.
That's right. Yeah.
A nice little. You can get Jeff to make a billet one, or you can buy them.
Yeah.
Some of them have an outlet for an extra breather. So you can go down that route. I've got one on mine.
Okay.
I did have a breather on mine, but I've now just blanked it off.
Right. Okay.
But you've got to fit the clutch on the input shaft, gearbox input shaft, before you assemble the crankcases.
Yes.
So one of the major problems with Z1000s, you can't take the clutch basket off.
It's different, isn't it? Later models you're okay. Yeah, is that something that changed later on in the...
Yeah, on the GPZ they've got a really large central bush on the clutch basket.
Yeah.
With two 6mm threads, and you put two bolts in, and you can draw that out, and then you can wangle the clutch basket off the shaft, it gives you enough room to twist it and get it out.
Which you can't do on the models.
You haven't got the kickstart on the GPZ engine, so you've got more room,
there,
as well to bring it back. So you don't get, to be honest, the clutch baskets only need work on every sort of 100,000 mile, you know,
which will see me out.
With a normal engine.
I don't think I'll be doing lots of burnouts on it, that's for sure.
No.
So yeah, so that's going on. I'll send you some money later on today, and you can pay for go and order these bits we need. Also, of course, we need gasket set, and at some point we also need to make or find some cylinder head gaskets for this new bigger bore. You got them up there?
There's a copper gasket there which we can anneal and reuse.
Yes,
The problem with copper head gaskets is they can, where they go around the cam change and lay, they can weep.
Yes.
I had a problem with it on the supercharged bike. And I went to a Cometic gasket, but it was a composite gasket rather than a copper gasket.
A simple copper one,
Because it's not an issue having a bit of oil mist here.
No.
On a race engine, but on a road bike it's a bit unsightly. So I swapped.
Yeah, we'll do that. I did look online for something like that in the UK, and no one seemed to stock it.
I've not looked yet, but I don't know if they do a 1400cc
I think
gasket.
they do, but not in the, people don't seem to stock it in the UK. Perhaps you have to get it from America, I don't know. I think they stop at about 1170 after that. They don't seem to bother.
Well, the engine originally was a turbo engine.
Yes, that's right.
Some of these gaskets are 1260. I think that's the 1400 spacer plate because it lifts the barrel.
Yeah, to reduce the compression.
Yeah. Well, it just gets the deck height right. You know, your pistons are level with the top of the. So you've got to play around to get the deck height. These are 3 head gaskets, and I can't remember which is the 1400 one. Possibly that one actually. That looks bigger.
Yeah, the one with a big hole in it.
To be honest, it's that one.
Okay.
That's got the bigger hole in it.
Right.
You can see the amount of material between the dowel and the edge of the cylinder gasket there.
Yeah.
Compared to that one. It's very thin here.
Yeah, a lot less,
So that's a bigger diameter. That's the 1400 one.
Right, okay.
But so that'll have been the original head gasket for there.
But hopefully we won't use that, we'll use a Cometic one. If we can find
we need a Cometic gasket, really.
To find it somewhere.
A composite gasket, and then you won't get the oil leaks that I had. You're going to sort of gain from my experience.
Yes, well, I hope so.
Because I had wire rings, and that's wire ringed as well, so they may need to have to come out.
Okay.
Because they've been piano wired. And that bites into the copper gasket. And gives a good seal on a high performance engine. But when you run a Cometic gasket, you have to take them out. So it might need facing.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
I think I did it with mine.
Right, here we are again. This time we've got the double team. Jeff's here, drinking tea.
Dynamic duo.
Well, not about that. Not about that.
I'm a hologram, I am.
Yes, and then you've got tea. I've got my tea, so we're all okay. And it's been about, I don't know, it was last week we were last here, looking at the cases and so on, and going through the gearbox that I brought you, and you've been busy. You've now got the cranks in, new cam chain. Transmission's been checked out and
checked,
hopefully
cleaned and fitted.
Yeah, that's excellent.
I did. There's 2 set rings which go in here, which took me sort of a while to find a pair, but I went to every box in the garage. I found some.
Right, good.
So that's done.
And the next thing is, I think you've got to fit the clutch.
I've got to fit a clutch on here.
Yes.
Because on the Z1000 engine, you've got to fit that first.
Yes.
I found 2 clutches which next to you there.
Right, you can't see it here, but there's 2 here.
There's 2 standard baskets there.
Yeah, I'll just spin round there. Give out.
But
just them.
The one I want to fit has already been modified with heavy duty springs in.
So you want to find that one. And it's here somewhere.
It's in the garage somewhere in a box, so I've got to find that.
Right.
And clean it and assemble it.
Yeah.
The next job then is to fit all the Selector components in the top
I can see them there, in the corner
behind Jeff,
yes.
Jeff's just turned up with your crank cap and modified reinforcing plate.
Well done. Well done, you. Yes, good.
So APE make them, but we're struggling to find one.
Right, well let me zoom in a bit and then we can just see that a bit better.
I'll have to get some.
I know. Right, so I've zoomed in a bit and we can now see that crankshaft cap.
There's the crank cap.
That's been machined flat by Jeff.
It was curved.
Yes.
And you machine it flat.
Yeah.
And then you put this plate on.
Steel plate, big thick steel plate, yeah.
Instead of bolts, it has now studs
Okay, and then a nut on top.
4 nuts.
Yeah, and that's a better option than the original.
That'll go on there.
Right.
It's an 8mm plate.
Right.
And that's basically stronger than the original cap on its own.
Right, excellent.
Which you need on a tuned engine.
Yeah, yeah.
Or a big engine, I should say.
And then we've got the pistons to go in and whatever.
We've got all the pistons, the blocks here done.
Yes.
Might need a light hone, I'm not sure yet, without checking the bores.
Okay, and
there was one gudgeon pin that was
which we
wrong.
need to. Yes, that's right.
When I stripped the original engine,
yes,
one of the gudgeon pins was different to the other 3.
Yeah, we need to get one, don't we?
They're the same length, because I've checked that. But if they're a different weight, we can't have that. They've all got to be matched.
Okay, well, we need to get one.
So what I want to do is actually weigh the 2 different gudgeon pins.
Yeah.
The odd one out plus
Can you just buy one, or do you have to buy a set?
If they're the same weight, I can run it.
Go with it, yeah.
I can go with it, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
strange.
But they're in a box down there, and that wasn't a piston box.
Oh yes, yeah.
The pistons that came out, the 1170,
yes.
that fitted.
Yeah, you've used the box again.
I've used the box to put the 1400 pistons in.
Cool.
Which is under there
somewhere. Yes. Yeah, you can't see it on film, but it's down there.
No, it's there.
It's amongst all the bits.
Safe. Under the bench.
Okay. And then obviously the thing that the 1170 took a long time was the head, which we had all rebuilt and whatever. So now you said you got 2 decent heads.
There's 2 heads under that bench there, behind this Ducati.
Yes.
There's 2 heads.
We got
both standard.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to use a standard valve size.
Yeah.
This bike's a road bike, and standard valve size just means it's going to...
You're going for torque, aren't you? So
I don't need an extra 10 brake.
A small port will be better.
Yeah. For a
little better airspeed. So
happy to go with that. Now I don't know if they need all new guides and seals and free cut.
You said you were running 36mm carbs, so they might need matching. The ports might need flowing to match so there's no lip or step.
Okay.
But whether they're too big for the standard ports, I don't know.
Okay.
I think they're about the right size for a 1400. It depends if you want top end power or mid-range torque.
I want mid-range. I want to grunt.
I mean, I run 34 CV carbs, modified 900R carbs on a 1260 motor.
Yeah.
And that was torquey.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah, you don't want to do things by halves.
No. I'm happy to be with Roger again, but I'm just a bit concerned about the time.
The original valve guides are cast iron, and they last quite a while.
Yeah.
But they're not as good as the phosphor bronze or nickel bronze. Are they?
Nickel bronze, yeah.
Neither nickel bronze or phosphor bronze guides that APE make.
Yeah.
And Roger can install those. And then, he can use an arbor down the guide to
hopefully you can do it. Yeah, you can take a trip and go and see him again and get it done.
Yeah.
But, I think last time perhaps it was because COVID was in the way and it took a lot longer than we expected.
Yeah.
Hopefully now we can speed things up a bit.
Well, nobody likes working in a cold garage in the middle of winter, so
no. Well,
by the time I get the head to him, the spring will be here.
Well, hopefully, yeah. Okay, we can go for that. Speeds of the essence and all that. Anything else to talk about while we're here about the old 400cc engine? Right, so Jeff's had to go, so I think we finished up now chatting about the engine for the Mark II. We drank our tea.
Nearly.
So I think we'll call it quits for today, and we'll see you again soon. So thanks for watching, and cheers.
Cheers.